A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
An empty plastic bottle would give you 50 cents. A soda can, 60 cents. A used food container, 80. Wondering why I know this? Because that's my job. I am a trash picker at my school.
Harry, the trash prince is on a roll today. And how is your trashy affair with Bella coming? She lets you kiss her with that stink?
Their words don't bother me. They don't know why I do what I do. And my secret. I edge close to my class when I hear Bella and her friend talking.
You can't be serious, Bella. You want me to break up with him for you?
I would do it myself if his poverty didn't give me the creeps.
You are unbelievable.
I come face to face with Bella's friend. She knew I heard the conversation and couldn't meet my eyes. She hands me the new phone I bought for Bella and walks away. I saved for months to buy her this phone. I walk down the empty corridor with a heavy heart, pick the phone out of the box, slip my SIM in, and switch it on. When... Harry Parker, you have passed the poverty test? You are now the heir to Parker family's billions worth of assets?
If Harry is a billionaire, why does he work as a trash picker? What is his big secret? Why did he not reveal his billionaire status to Bella? To know more, listen to the audio series Destiny Reloaded, only on Pocket FM.
Presentation.
This is the Daredevil series from Kansas Speedway, only on Turn 200.
God, if that doesn't get you amped up, you have no blood flowing in your veins. It is time for the Daredevil series. We are back, and we are live in prime time here on Turn 200. It is the GOATs of the Lotus 79 broadcasting duo. It's Tommy Cook, it's Matt Williamson, and it's the Daredevil series. We're back, baby. We're back.
We are back in the biggest way possible. Tommy put together one hell of an intro video there, and it really gets it going. Gives me chills. It gave me chills the first time I watched it, and these drivers are about to give me chills out on the track. We are finally back for the beloved series here on Turn 200. It is the Daredevil series, baby.
We got 9 races in a row to start this season that are on brand new tracks here to the Daredevil series, entering season number 4. We close things out with Indianapolis. Why don't we just show the folks the entire schedule here while we're at it, because front to back, whether you love it or you hate it, you got to agree, it's a wild schedule.
Yeah, most certainly wild. I think it's great for the viewers, maybe a little treacherous for the drivers, but we are here for it. Obviously, tonight we're starting out at Kansas. Some of the notable additions here. Most of these tracks, almost all of these tracks actually, are new to the Daredevil series. We have a double feature at New Hampshire. On the same night, we're doing the road course and the oval. That should be very, very interesting. And then right after that, we're going to Talladega here in the Lotus 79. That is one you won't want to miss. And then Bristol, you're not going to want to miss that either. It's all sorts of craziness. And, of course, we know what happens when you take the Daredevil series to Indianapolis for the final round. If you don't, you need to go look at the Season 2 finish at Indianapolis. It was a sight to behold, and we're going to try it again. We're running it back.
We are up to 26 drivers in about a minute and a half that will take to the track here for the Season 4 opening race. And I can't believe I've been saying we've got 9 new tracks on the schedule this season. I'm forgetting about our race next week at Sonoma, which we have been to before. It's just been a really long time. So Sonoma is back next week. But tonight we're at the 1.5 miles under the lights at Kansas Speedway. And speeds are high. Danger. If you've ever seen a 1.5 mile race here in the Daredevil series, danger is imminent, always lurking around every turn. Bad news for the drivers here, with just even 1 foot of bad spacing anywhere around this track at any time. A lot of people's nights are going to be over. A lot of things to cover throughout the night, but first of all, want to say hello to you watching wherever you are right now. We thank you very much for coming out and supporting us here on Turn 200, supporting the Daredevil series, supporting these 26 gladiators of sim racing that are about to do battle here, not only for 10 weeks, but for 75 laps here tonight. Ryan Dye says, haha, I am in danger. Yes, you are. Never forget that. You are in danger. And how about Mullet Music Productions? Wasn't that an absolutely banging theme song? If you missed it, you need to go back and watch it right after this stream is over. That is the theme song to the Daredevil series, courtesy of Joshua Rutherford and Mullet Music Productions. Spotify channel just went up for Mullet Music Productions. Go check them out. Link is in the description. But that's all we got here for qualifying. It is over. Season 4 is about to get underway, and it will do so under the control of Matt Schlosser and Rick Thompson, one of 9 drivers making their first career Daredevil series start here tonight. Rick Thompson on the outside of the front row. Bruno Miranda is back. Bruno will line up in 3rd. He is back for the first time, I believe, since Long Beach in Season 2. Hunter Engrave, 3 times the race winner last season. He starts in 4th. Nick Casidro starting in 5th, won the first race and the last race of season number 3. Matt Wagner had some great runs, a couple of podiums last season. He will line up in 6th. Brian Dye, the best finishing newcomer in the points last season, will line up in 7th here with the newcomer tag gone. Joshua Rutherford had some great runs in his limited starts last season. He will line up in 8th. Brett Thompson, both Thompsons in the top 10 here to kick things off. Paul Ellison will round out your top 10. Chris Graham of the National Racing Network is the latest entry to the series. He lines up at 11th. Caleb Smock in 12th. Steve Vroman will line up at 13th. Brody Gunter has been awfully sporty in our recruitment races this season. He is starting at 14th. Trey Mitz and the reigning series champion James Watson down there on row number 8. Christopher Kresge, the patriarch of the Daredevil series, is in 17th. Derek Wright making his first start at 18th. Victor Aldrich and Charles Grove through the top 20 The next 3 rows will scroll on by, and Matt Williamson will tell us the track conditions and what to expect here tonight from Kansas in the Daredevil Series return.
Well, it's good track temperature. Obviously, it's starting to get a little bit dark here around Kansas. Lights have come on, so the track temperature is low, which is good for these cars and these tires. No fast repairs tonight. That is going to be a big deal for these drivers. If you're not familiar, we could very well have multiple accidents here tonight, upwards of 200 miles an hour. Actually, I think well over 200 miles an hour in the draft around Kansas. I mean, come on, absolutely ridiculous. They do have unlimited tires, but they probably won't need them. Usually you don't change tires in these cars, and 25% fuel capacity. I think the longest they can go is about 40 laps. So they do have a stop for fuel at some point in this race.
Well, we just had a spin off of pit road, but I don't think anybody hit anything, so that's good. Field is going to get back and formed up here. Partner, 75 laps here tonight. Are we ready for this?
I think we've been ready for, I don't know, what's it been? 3, 4, 5 months? Well, whatever it's been since we ended Season 3, that's how long I've been waiting for this, especially after you released that dandy of a schedule. It's go time on Season 4, partner.
For the first time in Season 4, for the first time in series history at Kansas Speedway, the Daredevils are on the move.
Oh, boy, Isidro's gotten turned already.
Wow.
Oh, wrecking in the back.
Yikes. That is not what we wanted to see. Isidro, Poliski, Miglin, Klotz, Thompson, and Graham. Goodness gracious. What happened?
Oh, I'm not quite sure. A little bit of impatience, I think, probably. Had a lot to do with that.
We'll find out. Goodness, we didn't even make it 250 feet here before under caution for the first time.
I'm sure heart rates of the drivers were pretty high, maybe a little too high. We'll go back and take a look. It started between Isidro and somebody else. Not quite sure who it was. We're going to try to figure it out. I might have to get used to some new paint schemes here as well for this season. So replays should be interesting to start here. Well, the start for Isidro looks like it was just a self-spin. Didn't look like any net code either. So not really sure what happened with Isidro. We'll go back a little bit farther in the pack to figure out what happens near the rear of the field. That is a very odd mistake to see from Nicholas Isidro, a veteran of this series and a very good driver. Not really sure what happens there. And then near the back of the field, Miglin shoots to the outside of Poliski. I'm not sure Poliski knew that he was there. And those two get together. And they are right in front of Daryl Klotz here, so Klotz is going to pile into him. So three-car melee in the back, and Poliski goes around seemingly all by himself with no help. Not really sure what happened there. Possibly could have had a screen go dark or something. It was a really just awkward incident for him.
Yeah, that's a bit of a popped balloon there.
Well, we're going to line it up and do it again. This time it'll be single file, though. I'm not sure we've ever really had an initial start to a race like that in the Daredevil series.
Well, I tell you, we kind of had that at Iowa a little bit, but not nearly as bad as that. That was definitely the worst one. I also think that Christopher Kresge just lagged out of the session, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's very unfortunate.
So things going awry rather quickly here. They can do that from time to time.
Tommy, lots of newer faces or brand new faces to these races here in Season 4, so maybe a little bit of that is going to play a part in these early races this season as well. Some drivers maybe not quite as familiar with this car as some of our others.
Some rusty drivers, some new drivers. It's quite the hodgepodge. We're back underway. And we have made it to turn 1 this time.
Side by side, farther back in the pack, almost 3 wide. That's right in front of Ryan Dye. Oh, looks like Miranda down on the apron.
Not sure what's going on with Bruno Miranda here, but he is way off the pace. Up front, Schlosser leads our first green lap, and Rick Thompson getting after it.
Rick Thompson looking to go on a tear for himself this week. Won the recruitment race for the ASRL Oval Series that will be on Sundays. And now having himself a look at the front of the field here in the Lotus 79 in the Daredevil Series.
But look how quickly this pack bunched up. That's the top 6. Schlosser, Thompson, Engrave, Ritterfer, Wagner, and Ellison.
And it's not done bunching. There's more coming. Smock, Gunter, Ryan Dye, all looking to get into the fray here as well. They have caught the pack. We talk about this a lot on the restarts here in the Daredevil series. Things get spread out, and then as the run goes on, the rest of the pack, as long as you're somewhat close, will come to the front of the field generally and create one massive pack. That's when you have big problems. And by the way, fastest time I've seen, fastest speed I've seen so far, 213 miles an hour.
Woo! Is that all?
If you get a big run in the trap behind somebody, you go at a blistering pace around here.
Well, by himself, Matt Schlosser out front doing 195. Rick Thompson and Ryan Dye getting hooked up here on the top side. Hunter Engrave was behind Thompson, but he slot into line on the bottom. And already up to second. And we're all just about right back together here.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go on board with somebody that's in the mid-pack here. Why don't we go ahead and go to Steve Roman? He's here on the outside line, about 4 rows back. You can hear him. He's having to feather the throttle a little bit, kind of like a super speedway race here at Kansas. Of course, nobody wanting to make any crazy moves right off the bat here, because there are no fast repairs. You're not going to be able to survive the carnage most likely, especially with the new damage model for these cars. It's a little less forgiving.
Just a bit, with the tires being able to, just fall off.
But we talked about the folks in the back half of the field being able to get to the pack. They are more than here. They've been here for a couple laps already. Things have started to shrink pretty quickly.
Yep, real estate is a commodity here on track. And there's not a lot of it. Apron is open through the tri-oval, as is the new tradition here in the Daredevil series.
And trust me, they have the capability to get the runs to go 3 and 4 wide. They're just being smart right now. I don't blame them. Probably waiting to get the pit stop completed before they really get wild and crazy.
Yeah, 61 laps to go. Plenty of time. You need to be there at the end. That's been stressed to the drivers. Doesn't always work out that way. Netcode sometimes will have other ideas. Everybody just trying to log some laps here.
Engrave's been getting awful close to the back of Schlosser. There on the inside. Oh, wow!
Whoa, boy.
Looked like near contact between Schlosser and Rick Thompson, who's up on the top side.
If that happens at the front, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Oh,
and Thompson might get hung out here.
Now Ryan Dye is going to go through. He'll be on the front row in that second lane. And you're right, Tommy. Thompson has fallen pretty far back, all the way outside the top 10 now.
Ryan Dye, sporting, of course, again, the Matt Williamson Memorial. The race car, he said that was going to be retired. It has not been retired. He always tells me he's just going to ride, and then that never seems to happen. He might be riding, but he's doing it in second. That's not my definition of riding.
No, certainly not. You are riding in the car, but you're not riding in the field. You are out front, leading the pack. And in this race, of course, we see a lot of incidents happen at the front of the field. However, if you want to be anywhere, you probably don't want to be at the back of it, because things come at you very, very quickly in this car. Now, there's some cars you can kind of get your foot off the pedal and bring it to a controllable speed to make your way around incidents. This is not one of those cars. It is very hard to get slowed up. The brakes are finicky, to say the least. And if somebody's coming at you, you're probably not going to be able to get out of the way.
Dye pulled even there with Matt Schlosser. Schlosser still led every lap thus far. Lap number 20 going on the board this time. Whoa, awfully loose there on the top side. I think that was Caleb Smock.
We got a big pack riding around near the back of the field. Some of them were caught up in that initial incident. Isidro Watson, Klotz, and it looks like Fred Thompson are all back there, just riding around waiting for the carnage to ensue. Probably not a bad idea.
No, not the worst idea I've ever heard.
Taking the old school Joe Gibbs Racing, just staying the hell out of the way strategy.
It's worked in the past, both for Joe Gibbs and for the drivers here.
Of course, if you are not familiar, we had an unofficial recruitment race before last week, and Ryan Dye, he was the winner. So, Dye with 1 season of Daredevil competition under his belt at this point, and a recruitment race win to boot.
Yeah, nabbed a couple of podiums last season. Finished 4th in the overall standings, I do believe. Pretty good season. First time out for Ryan Dye.
A couple of newcomers here in the top 10 right now. Derek Wright and Caleb Smock are both inside the top 10.
This is Dye with a wing out ahead. Just waiting for it to all pop off here.
Well, when somebody dives to the middle and makes a 3 wide, that's really when it starts to pop off.
Yes, indeed.
We might be a little bit a ways from that, but we are now a third of the way through this one.
Yep, we'll come to complete lap 25 this time around. Put 50 to go up on the board.
I can see pit stops being very interesting if they happen under green. I think getting off of the racing surface to get on the pit road could be a tough test here.
Not only that, but also rejoining the track surface. Remember with the update that came on the day of Auto Club last year, or at the end of last season, made navigating a lot of the flatter sections of track a little bit more treacherous than they normally are. We added a lot of downforce for Auto Club. Have elected not to do that for the tracks with flat pit road entries and exits this time around, since they've had plenty of notice to practice it. But still difficult to manage under race conditions, I'm sure, and it'll be our first true test of that. Schlosser and Dye leading, Engrave and Smock right now on this second row. Gunter and Vroman, the next two. And Joshua Rutherford, Derek Wright, Paul Ellison, Trey Mitz, who is back here tonight. He's in the top 10. And you saw Rick Thompson roll out of the pack after he was running in second. He is right now back just past Trey Mitz, actually, to retake the 10th position. So he's still hanging around up here, but just didn't want to be up at the front for the time being.
What's crazy is we go to the onboard or the gyro shots here, and you can listen to the throttle input, and these drivers really treating it like a true NASCAR super speedway race. They are lifting to not get these massive runs, run into the people, or get close to the people in front of them. A little bit different from what we've seen in the Daredevil series of old. Before, I feel like we saw 3 wide, all out, don't lift really early on in the races in the past. Drivers knowing that they need to make it to the end to even have a shot. It's a little bit of a different mentality here tonight that we're seeing.
$31 up on the board. Patience, not a bad thing here. You know, we preach exciting racing and crazy moves at logical times. Three drivers have retired after that opening lap accident. Dan Miglin and Andy Poliski, as well as Christopher Kresge, who was not involved but lagged out of the server and never came back.
Well, I hope that everything's all right for the, I guess you could call him the patriarch of the Daredevil series.
And the report from Kresge said, my computer locked up. Apologies for any issues. Only checked up a couple of cars under pacing, but nothing really happened, so it's all good there.
Thanks to everybody hanging out in the chat with us here. Ashton Powder's watching. Hunter Leach. And Kyle Zittle. Yes, massive
good one,
runs
Kyle.
Here on the track and some off the track for me here today.
Yeah, had one big massive run there for me. The big split in this field happens from 20th on back. You've got the veterans, Nicholas Isidro and James Watson, in 20th and 21st. They have never missed a Daredevil Series race. They're the only two that are left.
And those folks, we mentioned it previously, riding around here in the back, a 4-car group just kind of riding, making sure they're not caught up in any of the nonsense that happens at the front of the field. That's Isidro, Watson, Daryl Klotz, and Fred Thompson back here.
And they are going fast enough to where I don't think they're going to get lapped. Should it stay green the rest of the way. But the chances of that are slim. So I think it's a win-win here.
Running back there together and everybody else side by side, I mean, they're probably in a position where if they really wanted to, they could potentially catch the pack if they felt like it was going to stay green this entire time.
Lighter fuel loads, getting pretty close to being able to make it to the end here.
Well, I'd say at this point, they probably could make it to the end. We're looking at almost 40 laps on a tank here is what our estimation is. So as of about 3 laps ago, I think they could probably make it. Of course, we want to have a little insurance in there as well. One opportunity at an overtime finish. But we're starting to see a couple more of the folks that were on the top side of the track move down to the bottom, maybe getting ready for green flag pit stops.
No calls over the radio yet. Doesn't mean nobody's coming in, but we asked the drivers to call out if they're going to be pitting. Corey Rutherford is going to pit this time. So I think we are in for some green flag pit stops here.
Comes Corey. Looks like he was the only taker, but may have been speeding onto pit road.
I think he made it. He just barely missed clipping that cone, which also would have been a penalty, but he is good to go. We'll see if this will drag anybody else down pit road. Matt Schlosser from the lead is pitting in. Derek Wright will be pitting this time as well.
They were able to pull down on the apron, but a bit of a scary move to pull down there off the higher banking right in the middle of the corner.
Trey Mitz, Caleb Smock inside the top 5. They'll be pitting this time. Ryan Dye coming in as well.
Smock's going to pull down onto the apron well before the turn. Mitz just ahead of him down here as well.
Whoa, Steve Roman tried to make it down to pit road but couldn't. Nearly spun that car out. He is going to lose out big time, but at least is still pointed in the right direction. Brody Gunter from second, Charles Grove from third, coming in this time.
Brody moves up the track a little bit. Oh, no. That's Hunter Engrave.
Oh! Ross Harlow gets collected. Caution is out. Hunter Engrave, Charles Grove, Ross Harlow, all involved in the accident at the pit road. Somebody, I didn't see who, spun it on the transition there, and it was Hunter Engrave, it looks like. And it's an awkward place for a caution to come out with people on and off pit road here. So it should make things pretty interesting.
Well, we're going to try to find Hunter Engrave and take a look. This is Brody Gunter behind, moving up the racetrack a little bit to get a good angle down onto the apron. And Engrave, he comes down really shallow from the banking of the racing surface down onto the apron. It looks like that's what hurts him and spins him out. We talked previously about that transition right in the middle of the corner. We saw some other drivers that decided to come onto the apron before that turn and seemed like might have been a smart decision because some other drivers had some big problems.
Charles Grove was spinning behind Hunter Engrave in that accident as well.
Yeah, this is Charles Grove here in the 33. He does the same thing that Engrave did, spinning around off that transition. And then unfortunately for Harlow, he was going to come in, saw the caution come out, didn't want to go to pit road in case he got a penalty. And he tries to get back up on the track and runs right into Grove. Oh, and there's another one back there. Daryl Klotz does the same thing. So 3 drivers on the same set, on the same lap, trying to get to the pits. They've all done the same thing. Think they might rethink that the next time we come to an oval like this, but they should be good to go to the end of the race if they can continue.
Trying to get this mess sorted out with so many people on and off pit road. A bit messy for sure.
Well, that looked like that was going to be a big opportunity of takers right there. Looked like about 10 drivers were trying to get down onto pit road that time around, and with incidents happening in front of them, it made it quite chaotic. Flosser is back down pit road. It's already been in once. I'm not sure what happened with Matt Schlosser here. I think he's taking tires.
Interesting.
So, something that we usually don't see on pit stops here in the Daredevil series with the Lotus 79. Schlosser is going to take tires. Usually tire wear, the surface of the tire is not generally a problem. Usually it's the heat of the tires. But Tommy Cook's done a very good job of trying to get these setups as perfect as possible. So it's not as big of a problem.
Don't say that.
Season 4. Well, my friend, we went 40 laps without a right rear squishy tire incident right there. I think you've done well here, at least for the first race.
Yeah, we'll see if we can keep that trend going. All right, I have to pay attention here to make sure that the folks that are in line for the waiver are going to take it and get all lined up before the pace truck gets back around to turn 4. Right now, the driver that we hyped up a bit in the starting grid, he's been inside the top 10 all night, but Brody Gunter is leading.
And Matt Wagner is going to be starting second.
Matt Wagner, yes, ran a lot of races last season, was 50% horrible luck and 50% great luck. He's also been running the Lionheart Retro Series, which also utilizes the Lotus 79s on a primarily oval schedule. He got plenty of experience last season and has gotten some more to boot with arguably just as good, if not of a strength of a field in the Lionheart Retro Series. So Matt Wagner is prepared to look for his first win here tonight in the Daredevil Series. Back to green flag racing action. Lap number 48 on the board this time.
Here comes James Watson looking to make a pass underneath of Paul Ellison. That is accomplished, so Watson goes from sitting back well behind the pack. Oh no, there's one around!
That was Matt Schlosser. Fred Thompson and Ross Harlow also caught up in it, and the caution is back out for the third time. Poor Ross Harlow, all of a sudden, it is stacking up against him.
And I don't think it's Schlosser that actually went around down to the bottom of the racetrack. I think it was Fred Thompson, maybe. Didn't quite catch the whole thing. We're going to go back and take a look at the replay. See if we can figure out what happens here. Looked like Thompson may have gotten up into the wall, and he did because of contact. The contact was with Schlosser. Looks like they locked wheels coming out of turn number 2. Thompson is yanking that wheel to the left, trying to stay out of the wall. And he does stay out of the wall, but he overcorrects. Comes down the racetrack, and you mentioned it, Ross Harlow. Very bad luck here to begin the season. A newcomer to the series, but very good in this car. But not a great start to Season 4 for Ross Harlow.
Luckily, I don't think it ripped a wheel off of Harlow. That's maybe the silver lining we're looking for here, but regardless. Yeah, tough sledding here already.
And it's hard to really tell if anybody came up or down the racetrack between Schlosser and Thompson. Both of them just kind of come together, going for trying to make it around this corner. Trying to get as good of a run as possible as well. A little bit behind the 8-ball from the rest of the field. Trying to get that run off the banking, and just came together here.
So let's give you a full at the running order here. Well, we got a second. Bertie Gunter leading. Matt Wagner in second. Bruno Miranda, who's been awfully quiet here, all of a sudden finds himself in third. Joshua Rutherford in fourth. Hunter Engrave in fifth. James Watson, the reigning champ, right now P6. Paul Ellis in seventh. Darrell Klotz in eighth. Chris Graham in ninth. And Steve Roman right now rounds out your top 10. Victor Aldrich in 11th. Derek Wright in 12th. Matt Schlosser still in 13th. Ryan Dyback in 14th. Rick Thompson 15th. Trey Mitz, P16. Nicholas Isidro back in 17th. Caleb Smock and Jeff Oakes then are the 19 drivers on the lead lap. Corey Rutherford and Fred Thompson now the only two drivers that are one lap down. Ross Harlow now 2 laps down, getting some damage fixed, down in 22nd. And retirements for Charles Grove, Christopher Kresge, Andy Poliski, and Dan Miglin through the 26th position.
Now 2/3 of the way through this one, heading to the back third. Less than 25 laps to go. This
heart rate is starting to elevate.
Yep, this is where it's going to start getting dicey. But it might
Ryan
be
Dicey?
Yep, you took my punchline. Thank you very much.
Oh, no! I'm so you could say it. Pretend like I didn't say it.
Nope, it's all right. You stepped on me before. You'll step on me again.
We truly are back to peak form already. Oh, goodness. Well, anyway, brother.
This is why I produce the streams and you do the talking.
That's just troll bait. I'm not even gonna engage. Oh, goodness.
Well, I'll tell you what isn't troll bait. The finish of this race that's about to be wild.
Yes, indeed it is. Brody Gunter finished second at the Monza recruiting race. He finished second at the Pocono recruitment race. None of those, of course, were for points. This is for points. He doesn't want to finish second. You know, if push came to shove, I'm sure he'd rather finish second than 22nd. But Brody Gunter wants to join a very small list of drivers who have won in their first start in the Daredevil series. Gunter, Wagner, Miranda, Joshua Rutherford, and Engrave the top 5. Back to it.
There goes Engrave underneath of Rutherford. And Bruno is up here in the mix with this little grouping as well. Has lost touch with Wagner and Gunter here a little bit. But we are nearly 3 wide. Engrave pulls up in front of Watson off the apron. The rest of the pack still trying to get formed up, get the speeds to catch those in front of them, but there's a big gap between Daryl Klotz and Paul Ellison. They're going to have to work hard
Here goes
to catch that group.
A move for the lead, Wagner, but no help behind him. Well defended by Brody Gunter. Now Wagner's stuck on the top side. Oh, wow, we just had a 3-way 4X contact and no crash. You don't see that very often.
Oh, my! Almost again. Klotz is really bearing down on Chris Graham. Not giving him much room to move. Oh, and now up into Vroman. Vroman's able to hang on, but will lose a bunch of positions.
Goodness gracious. These guys need to get formed up, but unfortunately getting put 3 wide again. Oh, man. This has disaster written all over it.
There's a fight for the lead, but this is hard not to watch.
Yeah, Matt Wagner's led the last couple of times across the stripe. Can't quite get clear of Brody Gunter. Oh, boy. 3 wide, 2 deep. This is not even for the lead. It's not going to end well. It's just not going to end well. Somebody needs to get these guys into line so they can start making some headway here. Somebody roll it out of the pack. Probably a good idea. I think that was Matt Schlosser.
It's still 3 wide for 2 rows, though, like you mentioned. And it's Klotz and Dye up top. They don't seem to want to go anywhere. So I think this is the bed that they've made. They're going to have to lay in it here. Oh, my! I just don't know how they've kept it going.
4 wide. Oh, boy. Now, up at the front, Matt Wagner so close to getting clear on Brody Gunter. Can't quite make it happen.
And this is where the big gap is. You see Paul Ellison at the tail of this group. Back to the 3 and 4 wide. It is a 2.4 second gap.
And growing.
Has definitely been growing for the last few laps. Starting to come down a little bit, but Klotz continues to stay up in that 3rd lane and is not doing him any favors. But I mean, that's a big pack to move to the back of, so you don't want to give up your position, but...
Oh! I don't know how they didn't crash. They're
still banging wheels.
Oh, my.
That's a Sidro now underneath. And we're 3 wide again. Oh, wheels look like they locked. Unbelievable.
This is ridiculous. Holy cow. I feel bad for Gunter and Wagner. They're putting on a show up front, and we can't take our eyes off of this.
This group's been fighting like it's the last lap for the lead for like the last 10 laps. Back up to the front.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, boy.
That's the big one. Ryan Dunn is
pile in.
Daryl Klotz, Trey Mitz, Caleb Smock, Steve Roman. I mean, how it didn't happen even 5 laps ago, I have no idea. But that was an absolute mess. Unfortunately, it takes out some drivers that had some high hopes for the evening.
Rick Thompson is an absolute shell of a race car right here. Steve Roman upside down.
Oh, boy. Well, I mean, we're obviously going to take a replay, but not for the sake of dissection. We all know what happened here. It's been written in the sky for the last 5 to 7 laps. Did somebody just do a backflip? I think Steve Roman did a legitimate backflip.
Well, I know that he ended up upside down. I'm not sure quite how he got there. But here we are.
And at the time of caution, to note, Brody Gunter was the race leader. So he paces the field here under caution.
There's a look at the replay. Froman hard up into the fence. It was the 8 of Jeff Oakes that made contact with Roman to begin with. That's what started the whole thing. Of course, everybody just all over the place is what really started the whole thing. And, of course, netcode. Can't forget netcode being a part of this as well.
You know, I don't even want to blame netcode for this one. That was just...
It was never going to end well.
No.
Never going to end well. That is for certain.
That was an imminent disaster, and it disastered, all right. Ay.
Well, I want to keep an eye on Steve Roman here because he did end up upside down somehow after already.
I think he ran over somebody's front tire.
See everybody trying to get sorted out here. And there's nothing there. He flipped over an invisible wall. It's almost like it's netcode with a tire that was rolling on the ground about, I don't know, 3 feet away from him. I can watch this all night.
Has the form of a dog at the Yukonuba show.
What in the world?
I don't even know what to say. Hey, we've gotten Season 2 champion Octavio Rondoletto in the cheering on Bruno Miranda. Hello. Hello, Octavio. Good to hear from you.
We're going to take one more look, an onboard shot here with Rick Thompson. He was right behind the carnage. And Thompson's car, after the incident, looks like it got a buzz cut from your great-grandmother who can't even hold the shears any longer. what a scene here. What was very calm to begin with for the first 40 laps, it has all started to unravel here as the drivers get closer and closer to the end of this race, wanting to get up towards the front.
Nine to go when we come back to the line here. Oh boy.
Maybe what some of these drivers in the back half of the lead lap cars have learned is you got to have a little bit of give and take with each other to be able to make it up to that front pack, because you're going to get behind on the restart. It's just inevitable. But you have to work together to make sure you can get up to the main pack. Something that did not happen right there on that last restart. And we all saw what happened.
7 out of the top 10 looking for their first Daredevil Series win. 3 of the top 10 are in their first Daredevil Series start. We're back to green. 9 to go. Gunter and Wagner. Good jumps for them.
Things a little bit more single file here. Towards the back of the pack, Aldrich and Smock are side by side. That's outside the top 10 at this point. They're going to get it sorted out.
Here comes a run from Matt Wagner. Can he make the move stick? Not quite yet. Run stalls out on the outside. Hunter Engrave pulls up onto the scene. Rest of the field in tow. All the way back to Nick Isidro in 8th.
Back from Isidro. Gap from Isidro back to Chris Graham is 1.5 seconds. So the rest of that pack needs to hopefully get sorted out here to make a run to the front, but they're starting to get side by side again. Might not have that opportunity.
Engrave tucked up right underneath Matt Wagner, trying to give him a good shot.
Will it be the run to the checkers? Starting to get really squirrely up front here.
Matt Wagner, so close to getting clear into 3. Getting good runs, though. It's got to be promising here if he can stay in this position up until the last lap.
And he's got somebody that really knows how to work this car to his advantage, and Hunter Engrave behind. You know he's doing everything he can to push Wagner a little bit farther out front each lap.
5 laps to go, wheel to wheel. Top 8 still separated from the rest of the pack. Chris Graham leading the charge in 9th, not making up too much time. Nicholas Isidro going to the top line here, all by himself. Could make it work.
He's going to at least get one spot. He could pull down if he wanted to, but elects not to for now, and he's not going to. He's outside of Watson, now outside of Engrave. Now he has help from Joshua Rutherford. We're 3 wide.
3 wide in the front pack. You saw how it just ended up. Drivers nod to the pack. But this is go time. Isidro, the winner of the season opener last time out at Legacy Pocono in Season 3. Looking for big moves right off the rip. They are making it work. 3 on the bottom, 3 in the middle, 2 on the top. 2 laps to go. Oh, we're wrecking. The drivers that were pushing hard from the second pack got together. Graham, Smock, and Wright. And we are going to overtime. Oh, boy.
There's Derek Wright with the right rear tire completely off of that car. I guess right rear wheel, I should say, completely off of that car.
A lot of damage to Chris Graham as well. Not how he wants to wrap up his inaugural outing here with the Daredevil series.
Yeah, Graham had a good run going throughout the night. Oh. That's the 87 of Smock that comes up into Graham. Pushes right hard up into the wall. Wright must have hit the inside wall here, because I'm not sure how that tire or that wheel came off, and he certainly does. Another big shot into the inside wall here. Well, Tommy?
Yes, sir. It's about that time.
And yes, that is a lot of damage.
It might be a lot more. By the way, at the time of caution, we were 3 wide for the lead. Bernie Gunter in third now. Isidro in second. Matt Wagner will be in control of this restart.
Wow, so when the caution comes out, Gunter, who had control of the race on this last restart, is going to move back to third in line. Interesting. You and I often talk about what lane would you rather be in if you're coming out of turn 4 and it's going to be a clean finish. 3 wide, where would you rather be? I think my choice is usually the middle. You're up high enough to get the good run off the corner, but you're down low enough to scoot out in front of the guy that's above you just enough that he's not able to get that run completely back before you cross the line.
I think the middle is the place to be at Michigan and Auto Club for sure. Matt Wagner had some pretty decent success not to pass outright from the middle, but to be across at the line. So there is an argument for the middle. But boy, I tell you what, if we would have gone to the checkers there without the caution coming back out, Isidro and Rutherford with just 2 guys, we're working it on the top side. But I don't think the pack is going to get formed up enough here for the top side to be a factor. So for Wagner, you're either defending the middle or you're defending the bottom. Remember, the tri-oval is open. And the tri-oval apron, I mean, obviously the tri-oval's open. They're driving through right now. Tri-oval apron is open. How about that?
It is. We've seen it used before.
Yes, indeed.
And it's worked before, I guess, is the number one thing that should be pointed out.
Yeah, we'll call it the Octavio Rondoletto rule. It was a sort of cross that bridge when we get there thing when he did it to win in Season 2. Never had to cross that bridge again in Season 2. And we said it's open in Season 3. And it's open here tonight as well. Maybe we will come to regret that. We're about to find out. Well, here we go. Go ahead.
Question is, how many cars can even get up to the pack to have a shot at this win. Only 2 laps. It's not very much time to be able to get there.
Matt Wagner looking for career win number 1. Nicholas Isidro looking for career win number 3. Brody Gunter looking for career win number 1. The final 2 laps of the season opener. We're back to it. 2 to go. Good jump for Wagner, but that may not be such a good thing. We'll have to see.
Isidro, Gunter, Engrave lined up, ready to pounce on Wagner when they get the opportunity.
Wagner's been in this position before, leading coming to the white flag.
Gunter gets a good run. He's going to pull up outside of Isidro here.
White flag.
Isidro's going to pull up in front.
Leapfrog. Wagner with no help on the bottom. Isidro to the point. Here's Engrave now to the top. Isidro down low.
Here comes Joshua Rutherford into the mix as well.
Wagner up. Across the line, it's Nicholas Isidro.
Whew, baby. Wow, I wasn't sure that many cars would even be able to get there in 2 laps, but they proved me wrong. Joshua Rutherford had a heck of a run coming out of turn 4, but Nicholas Isidro put the big moves on here to take the win in the season opener. And
career win number 3. Yeah, he didn't get to do burnouts last time at Auto Club. Got wrecked under the cool down lap. Isidro, a man of very few words, but the burnout does a lot of talking there, that's for sure. We'll nose it into his pit stall for good measure. Alrighty, that's a wrap here on 70, what did we end up at? 81 laps, actually, for the Daredevil Series opener. Way over, but got it done in under an hour, so that's always a good thing. Nicholas Isidro with the race win. Matt Wagner in 2nd. Joshua Rutherford in 3rd. We'll talk to all 3 of these gentlemen, hopefully, here momentarily. Brody Gunter then will finish in P4. Hunter Engrave in 5th. Bruno Miranda in 6th. James Watson, we mentioned, has started every race in series history. That is his 22nd top 10 finish in a row. Last time he's finished outside of the top 10, Phoenix in Season 1. That was the Season 1 finale. So the streak is still alive. Watson in 7th. Paul Ellison finished the race here tonight. And he may have 22 DNFs in a row. So he's celebrated big time over the radio. Ellison with an 8th place finish. Caleb Smock at 9th. In his debut tonight, Corey Rutherford rounds out your top 10. Victor Aldridge in 11th. Matt Schlosser, Trey Mitz, Chris Graham, and Ryan Dye, the lead lap finishers. Ross Harlow will finish in P16, 1 lap down. Brett Thompson, 2 down at 17th. Derek Klotz with some problems there late. He finishes in the 18th position. The DNFs for Derek Wright, Rick Thompson, Steve Roman, Jeff Oakes, Charles Grove, Christopher Kresge, Andy Poliski, and Dan Mingler. That is your finishing order here tonight from round 1 of season at Kansas Speedway for the Daredevil Series. And we will talk now to your podium finisher here. 3rd place finish for Joshua Rutherford. Big welcome back to booth 200. Congrats on the podium here to start things off. You sure were closing up with a head of steam there right at the end.
I did. I had a major run, and I was hoping that I'd be able to get to the front stretch before the turn ended so I wouldn't clip the apron, and I barely got it down there and just kept my foot down. Whatever happened, happened.
Well, you seem to be a wreck magnet last week at Pocono. I'm sure you saw a lot of the interesting goings on throughout this race here tonight. How was tonight for you as a whole?
Tonight was actually a lot of fun. I enjoy this car a ton.
I mean, and it helps, I think, probably to finish on the podium, I would imagine. That probably brings the enjoyment level up just that much.
Oh, that always helps.
Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, just a huge congratulations. A good night for you overall. You were in the mix there, I think, the entire race. But yeah, you mentioned it, the big head of steam out of turn 4. Was there any thought to try 3 or 4 wide on the top side, or were you just going to shoot to the bottom and see if it stuck?
I originally thought maybe go to the top side, but then I saw Hunter go up there too, and I'm like, that door is going to close. Just put it on the bottom and hope for the best.
Well, before we let you get to the thank you, I want to give you a thank you. I'm sure quite a few of the people here came in late, did not get to hear the theme tune, but everybody, as soon as this broadcast is over, go listen to what this man did here for us for the Daredevil series. I am just so... I mean, whatever I was envisioning in my head, you delivered, and you delivered it better than what I was dreaming about. So I cannot thank you enough for that. It is great work. The link to your YouTube channel and your Spotify is linked in the description. Mullet Music Productions. Thank you very much, Mr. Joshua Rutherford. But now we'll let you thank whoever you would like to here from the bronze medal spot on the podium.
Yeah, I'd like to thank CJR Graphics. That's my brother. He does a lot of the paints for me and my cars and his cars. Go check him out on Trading Paints. He does amazing work. I've got 89.7 The River on the car. They're one of the local radio stations, and they're freaking amazing. I would like to thank both you and Matt and everyone at Turn 200 for putting all of these on. You guys do a fantastic job. Everyone else that makes Daredevil what it is. Go check out Mullet Music Productions on Facebook, YouTube, Audius, and I've just put my distro kit together, so my music will be hitting all streaming platforms in the very near future.
I love to hear that, partner. Congrats on all the successes in the music world, and congrats on the podium here tonight. First of many here in Season 4.
Yeah, thank you.
He said he had a lot of fun. I would imagine we're probably in for a bit of a tone shift here. But always nice to start off the season with a podium. Matt Wagner there making moves on the final lap. First of all, congratulations on the podium. I would imagine you've come up this close before in Daredevil series competition. P2 probably stings a little bit, but I mean, it was all sort of working against you there on the final restart.
Yes, field strategy kind of played out how I got to the front, and that's what I told my boys. That's the way it's going to work. So I was a little bit scared of the pack a little bit early on in the race. But yeah, that's how I got more toward the front. Well, I have been here before, like you said, and I hate second place. Second place sucks, but I rather take second than last. So, as you would say.
Yeah, definitely. Your luck in the Daredevil series has been all over the place.
It's awful. I don't want to talk about it. It's like I'm a freaking meme, as you would say. I'm like the laughing stock of bad luck.
Well, you made a move that I loved there in the tri-oval. I'm sure it was just throwing things at the wall and seeing what would stick, but that was a great move to jump up in front of Brody Gunter when you did, and only 36 1,000th short of career win number 1 here tonight. But I think if tonight is anything to go off of, you're going to be a threat anytime you roll into the Daredevil series starting lineup this season. So I'll turn it over to our Matt Williamson, for a question here.
Yeah, congratulations, Matt, on the second place. I know, obviously, would like to be one step further up, but a really great run for you here tonight. A little bit of a tale of two halves here. The first half of the race seemed to be everybody giving each other a lot of room, nobody really taking the big runs that they were able to generate. And then after that caution came out, it's like the flip just switched for everybody, and it was game on. How do you flip that switch mentally in your head?
Well, mentally, I got to have the mental stability to do that. So, well, it it's more like I have to put myself in the back up there. So it was a disappointing qualifying effort. I told the guys, if I would have qualified up front, I'm gonna stay up front. If I qualified worse than P1, I'm gonna drop to the back. That's exactly what my game plan was. Mentally, I was looking at the field. I was like, oh god, I really don't want to go up there and be involved. Hopefully, there wasn't a wreck. Thank you guys. You guys held your stuff. I appreciate you. Thank you. We had a great first run. It was awesome, and I kind of wish we would gone through the whole green flag pit stops because I had like 3 or 4 extra laps of fuel I can run by myself. And so when this car generally, when it runs on less fuel, you're going to turn some faster lap times. So, yeah, it would have turned out I would have had a second lead when I came out. That is if I would have nailed my box right, but I didn't. But it is what it is. The yellow came out, screwed everything over. I was trying to figure out how in the heck did that 01 get in front of me? I was like, I'm sitting there scratching my head. I'm like, how? How did Brody do that?
Do you have anybody you want to shout out tonight?
Actually, you know what? I want to thank one driver in this. Actually, 2 drivers in this field. Thank you, Hunter Engrave, for the pushes, and you stood with me that last 10 or 15 laps. I don't forget anybody on the track. I watch. So thank you very much. And I know, Brody, it was disappointing toward the end. Sucks for you. I know. I've been there. I've done that. It's terrible for what would he finish 4th there? Yeah, that was leading there. Thought you had the lead. Been there, brother. I got to thank Team Watson Racing. It's my brother James Watson here. I've pretty much been with him since day one. So Team Watson Racing setups, unacceptable racing, and Dizzy V designs with my nice little pink Lotus 79 there. It's an awesome paint scheme. Even I got the old gold paint scheme. And guys, thanks for having me. It was a great race. Came up a little bit short, but it is what it is.
That's all right. We'll get you one better here sometime this season. A fantastic run here tonight. Congrats on the podium.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
And now we'll talk to your race winner. He won the season opener last season, won the season finale last season, so it's technically 2 in a row here tonight for career victory number 3 for Nicholas Isidro. Congratulations.
Thanks.
I mean, some crazy moves there. First of all, you're the final driver to sort of catch that toe to get up to the back of the pack. You elect to take the field 3 wide with only one driver helping. It works. You made that top side work. It gets you in a great spot here with Matt Wagner way out front. And you proved yourself to be the wily veteran at this point of the Daredevil series with the moves you made there on the final lap. I mean, a great, nearly perfect closing stretch to this race for you.
Yeah, I knew I had to do something just because just staying in the bottom line wasn't going to get me anywhere. So I knew I had to go to the outside, and it managed to work for me.
Then when we get to the final lap where you're in control on the bottom, is there any move that you're going to make other than sticking it down there to the infield grass down in the tri-oval, or is there any other move that you're looking to make there if you have to?
I can't go to the inside of him there because that would just end in both of us crashing out. So I knew I had to go to around the outside because I knew I wasn't going to give him the inside. So I just go around the outside, and I had some people follow me, and it worked out well for me.
Matt, what do you got here for our race winner?
Yeah, congrats on the race win, Nicholas. Unfortunately, the race didn't start out very good for you. It looked like you had a spin down there. I'm not sure what happened, but you found yourself in the back of the pack, just kind of riding around the pack, waiting for a caution to come out, which it did, and it helped you. But what happened there to begin the race?
I think just on cold tires, just spun the wheels a bit and just ended up going into the infield grass.
It was obviously a great recovery, though. Spin to the win, and you're a winner again here, and already the points leader again headed into next week at Sonoma. Congratulations on the win. Always great to get to talk to you. Anybody you want to thank here tonight?
Just thank you guys for putting this league back on again this year. Looks like it's going to be a pretty good schedule this year.
And I have a feeling we're going to be talking to you plenty here as the schedule rolls along. So congrats on the win. Go party, and we'll hopefully talk to you again next week.
All right, hopefully.
Oh, boy.
Yes, sir.
That is a wrap. And, I mean, this race had a lot of everything. Some good, some bad, but classic Daredevil for the final restart. Just all-out chaos, strategic moves, well-placed moves, aggressive moves, and everybody in the front pack doesn't crash. And it's another photo finish. Not one of the closer ones we've had, but anytime you can keep it under a tenth of a second, always a welcome sight here in the Daredevil series. What do you make of our Season 4 opener tonight?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, we had a really big green flag run after one initial incident, which, you know, in the past seasons, getting almost 40 laps of green flag racing has been hard to come by. So shout out to the drivers. They really brought it here tonight. And then, of course, giving us the crazy finish at the end, even with only a couple laps to do it. You know, they just bring it week in and week out here on Wednesdays to the Daredevil series. Shout out to everybody that was chatting and watching here with us. Hunter Leach, Pamela Ingrave cheering on Hunter. Octavio Rondoletto, the Season 2 champ, was in the house. Octavio, if you want to come back and race with us, we would be glad to have you. Of course, Kyle Zittle, Ashton Crowder, Ryan Dye, and Joshua Rutherford there with Mullet Music Productions. Want to shout out Joshua again from me, because that theme song is just absolutely banging, and the video that Tommy put with it is absolutely outstanding. Again, if you haven't seen it, go back, watch the beginning of the stream, look at the intro video right before we went live. It's pretty special.
Absolutely. Thank you a million times to Joshua Rutherford and Mullet Music Productions. Again, links to some of his socials are in the description. More are piling in here by the minute. He's doing a really good job starting to market some of his music endeavors. So shout out to Mullet Music Productions. Shout out to Whiplash Simcams for the fantastic broadcast package that you've been watching all night long here. Whiplash Simcams, their Discord server link is in the description. Anytime you're looking for a camera pack, hit up Andrew. You will not be disappointed. Great work, as always, from him, especially when he's very much in demand. That he makes time for us is greatly appreciated. Thank you to everybody that was watching here tonight. Thank you for hanging out with us. The next time we'll be on stream will be, I believe, Sunday afternoon for the top split strength field broadcast for the Mission R Challenge from Virginia International Raceway. VIR action back on the channel here on Sunday afternoon. No FSS on Monday. They are off for the Daytona 24. Tuesday, the Venom Truck Series will be back in action at Iowa. And then be sure to be here, prim and proper, same time next week for the Daredevil Series Round 2. It is the only returning road course on the calendar this season. It is Sonoma Cup Historic, the champion's pick from the champion James Watson. But that is all we've got for you here tonight. Thank you to all the drivers. Thank you to everybody that was watching. And thank you to my partner in crime here. The Daredevil series wouldn't be anything if it weren't for Matt Williamson. So thank you very much, partner. And welcome back home here in the sim world. Until we meet again here, my name is Tommy Cook. We are saying so long from Kansas Speedway, where Nicholas Isidro takes career victory number 3. Have a good night, everybody.